Right now on Secrets of Louisville Chefs, we're at Bourbon Barrel Foods in Kitchen Studio, where we're learning the secrets from the Silbach. The Oak Room chef de cuisine Patrick Roney is with us. He's going to be making up his version of Kentucky Burgoo, plus an Asian-style seafood dish that's also fused with the flavors of Kentucky.
Throw everything in the pot and see what happens.
He'll reveal the secret to that so you can make it at home.
I've heard many stories about it.
Plus, the Silbach's ghost story becomes a new cocktail.
I'm looking forward to meeting her today.
Tim Laird shows us the secrets to what he calls the Lady in Blue. And there's nothing scary about it. Grab a seat and bring your appetite. I'm Kevin Harnett, and this is Secrets of Louisville Chefs. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Bourbon Barrel Foods. This is a kitchen studio where you're going to learn some of the great secrets from one of Louisville's best chefs. And if you like fine dining and bourbon, well, you're in for a treat today. His name is Patrick Roney, and he's with the Oak Room at the Silbach, Kentucky's only AAA five-diamond restaurant. The Oak Room was a favorite hangout as well for Al Capone back in the 20s, and for F. Scott Fitzgerald, who used the Silbach as the backdrop for The Great Gatsby. And it's always been a standard bearer for fine dining. So we're lucky to have the Oak Room's top chef for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Roney with our CEO and Tim Laird. Tim, what a show this is going to be.
I'm excited, Kevin. I'll tell you what. And chef, we're so lucky to have another great chef right here in our town. So,
Patrick, welcome.
Thank you. Thank
how
you.
are
It's
you,
great
Patrick?
to be back. Great to be back.
Good to have you back. Absolutely. And you've been on the show several times.
Been a fan of the show for a long time, and so now to be invited back a few times.
Look at that.
It's really
What'd you
good.
pay him to say that,
How
Tim?
about that? But actually, and this is a true story, Kevin, because we talked to Chef, and he revealed this on some of the other shows we've done with him, but it was actually the show that you saw that inspired you to stay and come to Louisville.
That is true. That is true. It's the talent. There, you know, the show. My in-laws are from Southern Indiana, and so when I'd come and visit, you know, we'd turn on the TV, and I always knew what time you guys were on, what channel it was on, and Heather, my wife, would be like, "Where's Patrick?" And I'd be back in the room watching Secrets of Louisville Chefs and finding out who the hot shots in town and stuff like that were, and you know, I always dreamed of being on the show. So you know, it's just amazing. I feel so blessed to have been invited back.
All right, Chef, what are we going to cook up?
Today I'm going to use the bluegrass soy, the only microbrewed soy in the country.
Right.
And I'm going to pair it with a Japanese product. This is called ponzu. It has rice wine vinegar, a little bit of yuzu, and a little bit of mirin in it, which is like a Japanese rice wine. And this is kind of just like making a cocktail. Don't really need to measure. We're just going to get some in there and let it start coming down. And then we've got the soy that's going to go right in there. We're going to get a good dose of that in there and let that kind of heat up. We've got an Arctic char. This is a wild Arctic char. It's from Nunavut, Canada, and it is hand caught, netted by the Inuit Indians up there. And
Okay.
It's been a process that they've been doing to feed their families for centuries. Get this pan nice and hot. Get a little oil in there, and we're going to dry it off. Most important thing.
Yeah, because that'll, you know what, with scallops or any of these fish, you want to make sure it's actually dry, or even meats.
Correct.
Because that way you'll get that crust. Otherwise, it'll steam itself.
It steams,
I've learned the hard way.
Right. And the oil will spatter and pop and burn your hands, and nobody wants that. We're not going to add a whole lot of seasoning to it, but who can resist a little bit of that bourbon salt and that bourbon sugar right there on the top? And while we're at it, let's go a little bourbon pepper. So that's going to add a little bit of texture once it's done cooking. So we're nice and dry here. We're going to go in this pan.
And that's skin side down.
Skin side down.
Okay.
So I'm hitting that pan, and you see me holding it down like this. That skin's going to want to buckle up. So I'm just holding that down. We're getting a nice little crisp skin on there, and that's going to add great texture on the finish of this. Our soy and ponzu. We're going to let that come up to a boil. That should be there in a moment. We have probably are getting some nice color there, so I'm going to go in there and kind of pull it up, and you'll see it wants to stick. That popping is because this was a little bit wet. So that's the effect you'll get when you
That's why you want to dry everything.
dry. So
Oh,
we
look
pop
at
it
that.
over, and we've
Crisp.
got nice crisp, nice golden brown. And this is a really fun part. What we've done is we've made a little smoker, little in-kitchen smoker, and I'm kind of getting a wasp of it right now. It's beautiful smell. We've got, since we're in Bourbon Barrel Foods kitchen,
Yeah.
we use bourbon barrel bungs to ignite. We've got a little charcoal in there, a little fire under that, and
So a little wood and bourbon kind of mixed in the
got
marinade.
a cool little toy.
Look at
We're going
this.
to take a temperature in there, so you can see it's holding about 200, 230, 250. And so we're going to get that.
Kevin, you need one of those
Yeah,
for your
isn't that the
forecast.
truth?
We'll
Like,
just
yeah.
go outside.
I never have to leave the house. I just be like, yep.
We're going to get that right in there, and we're going to let that go. That's not going to take long because we don't mind if that's a little bit mid-rare in there. So we're going to seal that back up.
Seal it back, and you can see that all the smoke is coming out of there,
And-
so it's really working.
I'm going to cut that heat back a little bit. We're going to come to this part. We've got our soy and our ponzu coming up to heat. At this point, we're going to take our cold butter and just start going in very slow. So I'll do about 2 at a time. And we're just going to give that a little swirl.
More flavor.
Keep
to
that moving, keep that moving. I've got a little secret trick here, product called xanthan gum. And I've got a little immersion blender here. You're gonna do a little trick for me. If you use too much, it turns to glue. And you can wallpaper your house with
Chef
it.
and Mr. Science. Whenever
So,
you're ready.
you can go ahead now.
Happy fish.
That's good,
That's
yeah,
a happy fish.
Happy.
So we've got that
Would you like some gum,
emulsified.
Kevin?
And with these cool little stick blenders, these are a great little item to have at home. You know, I mean, you could use this in a cocktail preparation.
Oh, I do.
You know? Yeah.
Absolutely.
But what I'm doing is I'm creating some bubbles and creating a little bit of texture.
And let's face it, I mean, it's kind of fun to work in a kitchen with something like that.
I know.
You know?
It's like a boat motor. Isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Trolling motor. The big one in the kitchen we call the trolling motor. So we've got our fish, and you can see that was
beautiful.
raw before, and that's beautifully, nicely set now, and it's got all that bourbon barrel bung smoke just right into it. We're going to sit that right on top of our forbidden rice and our sea beans. Since we have the daikon in the rice, I've got a little bit of micro daikon radish that.
And that actually
That's
tastes
just-
like a radish when you bite into it. Even though it's that green,
It
it's
sure does. It sure does. So we're going to get a little bit of that on top. Again, a few of our little beans for garnish, so one of those. And then I've got a little bit of, this is actually a sake cured Arctic char roe.
Oh, now that's interesting.
So just kind of emphasizing that Arctic charness of the dish. Get that on top, and then we've got our butter that's nice and frothy. We're going to take a little bit of that, go right into the bowl.
Wow.
So this is a nice little appetizer. It's going to go great with, of course, any kind of bourbon you want to drink, but also, you know, maybe a Riesling or a Gewürztraminer, a Pinot Gris, something like that. Nice and bright. So that's the dish. That's the Arctic
Wow,
char
that looks
forbidden
absolutely-
rice.
What a fusion of Asia and Kentucky right here in the Bourbon Barrel kitchen here. We have much more to share from Chef Patrick Roney when we come back. How does it taste? We're going to find that out too when a studio audience member has a chance to dig in. Also ahead, Chef Patrick reveals the secrets to his Kentucky Burgoo. And it's cocktail time with Tim Laird. His newest creation pays tribute to the Silbach Hotel's ghost story. More on that and how you can make this quenching cocktail yourself. You're watching Secrets of Louisville Chefs. We'll be right back. Hi, everybody. everybody, and welcome back to Kitchen Studio here at Bourbon Barrel Foods, where Chef Patrick Roney from the Oak Room at the Silbach has been entertaining us with his culinary skills. And it looks great, it smells great, but the ultimate test is how does it taste? Lee Collins is here. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Listen, we've got a great audience here. Are you all having fun today? They've had a chance, as well as yourself, to not only see and smell, but learn some of the tricks of the trade from Chef Patrick, the Oak Room, one of our city's best restaurants.
Absolutely.
And I think everybody's having fun so far.
I know I am.
You're one of the few people that are going to have the chance to take a taste first. Everybody else will have their chance. But go ahead. Let's see what it's like here, Lee. Dig in as Asian meets Kentucky with the fusion of flavors coming together right in one plate. It looks tremendous.
Wow.
Yeah?
Patrick.
2 thumbs up there?
Yeah.
All right.
Some more here.
You bet. It is all yours. And while you enjoy that, Lee, I'm going to transition over here because one of my favorite things happens to be a good ghost story, Tim.
Exactly,
You know,
and we have one.
Right at the Silbach. Patrick, jump in here because Tim's going to make a cocktail that kind of goes hand in hand. You've called it affectionately
The Lady in Blue, which is one of the residents at the Silbach that kind of floats around from time to time and everything else. And it's a true story, right, Kevin?
Well,
I mean,
Patrick probably knows better than any of us. It dates back to the 1930s where this woman was coming to meet her husband. Her husband died in a car crash on the way there. She was so distraught. She was found in one of the elevator shafts. And to this very day, people see this lady in blue getting on the elevator.
Right, right. Yeah, I've heard many stories about it. I personally have never seen the lady in blue, but I'm looking forward to meeting her today.
absolutely. Well,
Yeah, me too.
We'll meet her in spirit, so to speak. But anyway, I will show you this one based on the Lady in Blue from the Silbach Hotel. I'm going to start out with about 1.5 ounces of Finlandia vodka. Goes into a tall glass with ice. And then we're going to make this nice, light, and refreshing, too. So I'm going to use a little bit of grapefruit soda. About 3 ounces of that goes in. And, of course, it has to be blue because it is the Lady in Blue. And I'm going to use a little blue curacao, which is an orange liqueur. So a little orange goes with the grapefruit. Beautiful blue color, kind of emulating the blue dress that the Lady in Blue wears. And then a good squeeze of lemon goes on top just to get all those juices involved, and a quick stir, and there it is in real life, the Lady in Blue. Here you
Wow.
go. See what you think, Chef. Cheers. We'll see how we
Cheers.
did. Wow, very nice, light,
Quite
refreshing.
quite refreshing.
Kind of want to float away now
You do, you
and disappear
do.
into this. No, anyway. And now you got a little something for Kevin and I as well.
Again, like I said, I'm ingredient driven.
You are.
So much so that I brought my farmer that raised the rabbit that we're going to be putting in
wow,
this dish.
Fantastic.
He raises these rabbits at Valley Acre Farm, David Bagshaw, and does a great job. So first off, I'm going to take this this lovely rabbit that David raised for us, and this is the hind quarter. I've taken that off. We've Frenched the bone. I've taken the tenderloin, and we turned that into a mousseline. So that's kind of an old French technique where you puree it with a little bit of cream, a little egg, and then you add a little bit of seasoning to that. So I've got my mousseline that I made right here. Just a little bit. You don't need a whole lot. And this is going to cook in there. Give a little more body to that leg. And a really nice surprise to the diner when they bite into it and they get that nice, creamy, smooth mousseline in there. This is the belly flap of the rabbit. Sometimes we'll brine this and we'll smoke it like that little thing we did.
Wow.
And I call it rabbit bacon. Not quite as fatty, much healthier for you. You can see it's in a triangle shape. So I'm going to take the triangle in, hold this up. We're just going to drape this over. And you've got a now completely concealed little rabbit stuffed leg there. Take a little string, secure it, and then we're ready to go to the batter. A secret trick of mine, when you're tying something, this is a good secret. You could do that little knot and say, okay, can somebody put their finger on it and hold it? Or you can just go around one more time, and then when you pull tight, it holds. It doesn't release. So at this point, we are going to start our breading procedure. We are going to just dip that right in, get some flour on there. right into the egg. Now I keep one dry hand, one wet hand. This wet hand goes in. Make sure that's completely coated.
Into the panko? Is that panko?
Into the panko. Into the panko. And then that's ready to go. You want it to dry off a little bit, and that's going to go in there. To this dish, we're also going to add a country ham hush puppy. So what's better than a little bit of country ham, Kentucky, you know, kind of celebrating. That's just going to drop right in there just like that. So while that's going, you can keep an eye on that for me.
Okay.
All right, so we've got a venison chop right here. That's going to get, we've got a pan hot. Again, we're going to dry that protein off a little bit.
Okay. This is looking good, Chef. It's turning a little golden brown.
Getting a little golden, that's exactly what we want. Again, we've got our dried protein. We've got a little bourbon barrel salt we're going to season this with. We've got some smoked bourbon barrel paprika, which is a really great ingredient. It adds a really nice spice to it. That's going to go all over there, and a little bit of our pepper.
Beautiful.
So we've got that nice and crusted, and I'm going to kind of massage that in there a little bit. You can see that pan's very hot. So we're gonna get a little oil in there, and then we're gonna go our protein right in and get a nice sear.
The old saying that cold pan, hot oil, foods won't stick.
Correct.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to finish up this dish, and you're going to have a chance to see what the final outcome is with Chef Patrick Roney from the Still Box. Stay with us. More Secrets of Louisville Chefs to come. Welcome back to Burgoo Barrel Foods and Kitchen Studio here, where Patrick Roney is putting the final touches on his Kentucky Burgoo. You've seen the rabbit, the hush puppies are out, and Tim, we're rolling right along.
I'm telling you, this is wonderful. I'll tell you what, the rabbit came out with the hush puppies, nice golden. You can almost see the crunch just as you look at that.
Yeah,
Looks absolutely fabulous. And of course the venison, a lot of that great smoke coming from that smoked paprika and all the other ingredients you put in there.
Beautiful flavors, beautiful flavors. I'm going to go ahead and flip this guy. Look at that color.
Love that.
Nice, we got that.
Beautiful.
You can see that bourbon barrel pepper just kind of popping out there. That's going to give that awesome crunch, that great flavor. We'll just go ahead and get this guy shaking around, and nice big pan like this. We can go ahead and get some other stuff in here.
Get the mushrooms
We've got
going.
some black trumpet mushrooms. Those are wild. These are all foraged mushrooms that we have a nice purveyor that gets for us. I've got some hedgehogs that are going in. These are yellowfoots. So we'll get those in there. Got a few things that I'm going to play with here. This is salsa feet, also called oyster plant.
Okay.
You just cook it very lightly. It's got a nice subtle flavor. I've also got this big guy called rutabaga. Those are going to go right in. We're going to get a little nugget of butter in there, a little bit of Swiss chard.
I like this all in one pan. Just
all in one pan.
This
is kind of one pan cooking. And then we don't want to overcook that venison, so we're just getting that sear on that second side. Get that shaking around. We're going to do one step that I think everybody's got in their oven, and we've got it right here. We've got a wild boar shoulder that we braised.
Yeah. Just pulled right out, Kevin. Did you find that?
I've seen a couple of those. I didn't realize that's what it was.
So what we did is we braised this wild boar shoulder, and we marinated it in the Kentucky sauce that Matt Jamie makes. It's an awesome product. Then we sear it off, and then we braise it in a little bit of ham hock stock and some other mirepoix.
Nice.
Let that go for 16, 20 hours, so it comes down real tender. Burgoo is kind of a throw everything in the pot and see what happens. And so I've got a couple of different things we're going to play with on the plate. So we'll get our purple sweet, a little dollop of that right there, and just kind of drag that around. We've got our Japanese sweet right here.
Nice.
We'll just kind of drag that this way. And then we've got our rutabaga puree. That's going to go in the center, and that's going to be kind of a little bit of a base for our rabbit. So we're going to go to our pan here and start getting some of our accoutrement set up. Swiss chard. We've got the rutabaga going on there. It's a nice contrast with that purple. We've got the salsify that's going right there. And take our country ham hush puppies and kind of dab those right on there like that. We've got our wild boar that is gonna sit, perch right in there. And we've got,
It's just a little different than the burgoo
yeah, I was
I'm
gonna
used
say,
to on the farm, but
this,
it's looking really good.
This is how they do it at the Silhawk. This is the Burgoo version.
little trick I
we've
have
never
to
seen.
keep this rabbit leg standing up is I'll just take a little bit of the bottom off, and then that's also a little treat for
The chef.
for Tim.
Oh, thank you.
I've got one for you too.
How is it, Tim?
Oh,
So we'll duck that in there, and see that's going to stand up just like that because, you know, I kind of was mimicking that after your spoon should stand up in it, so I wanted kind of a tall element on there. So I've got a couple other little surprises here. We're going to get our huckleberry jus. Now these are wild foraged huckleberries that come out of the Pacific Northwest. So we're going to nappe that wild boar with that. Do a little dot of this over here.
good gosh. Chef.
Little dot over this way. That's good to
On
go.
that plate, Tim.
Incredible.
This is when I was talking about that rabbit stock that I made. I added a little bit of salsify puree to that and something called soy lecithin. That's again, you can find it at your health food store. That adds what we're going to call bubbles or foam.
He's getting out the tiller again. Do you need
There it
help
is. Here
him?
comes the bubble.
Here it comes. So we're just going to we want to whip air into it. So you can see it kind of before your eyes, creating that foam effect. A couple little buzzes does it. And we are going to the plate with that. And you'll see this just creates a
look
nice
at
little
that.
effect and just kind of
So you're
fills
just
in any
using
of those
the
little
bubbles, the foam.
a little bit of the bubbles and a little bit of that broth. This is called a micro southern mix, and of course, why wouldn't we put a southern mix onto a burgoo, you know? So we've got, there's some mustard in there. It's kind of got a little spicy quality. So we're gonna tuck that in right there and get that looking nice and sassy.
And one thing about the microgreens, even though they're small, they have a lot of flavor. to
Tons
them.
of flavor,
just
tons of
boom,
flavor. This is a micro Swiss chard. We're gonna add those, just kind of tuck a few of these right in by that those hush puppies, just for a little effect. And I have one more little thing. Is that all right? One more little thing. This is
I still see white on the plate.
piece de resistance.
Oh.
We've got an Oregon truffle. So I'm just gonna kind of make it rain a little bit. That's our dish.
Wow. Oh my gosh,
Look
Kevin,
at
we
that.
got to try this.
Thank you.
Wow.
Tim, that wraps up another great show
Unbelievable.
here at Bourbon Barrel Foods. We've had fun, haven't we?
We have had a lot of fun.
If
Kevin.
folks are looking for the recipes from Patrick or any of our chefs, they're easy to find. They're on the website. It's newlocaltv.com. There you'll find all the recipes. You'll find a complete restaurant guide and full episodes of our show. For Tim Laird, I'm Kevin Harnett. And on behalf of all of us at B&B Productions, we'll see you next time on Secrets of Louisville Chefs.
You are tremendous. I mean, thank you. Always have a wealth of knowledge.